Jen, also known as Felicity Stitches, and I'm here for another Flosstube video. I think this will make number 4, if I'm counting correctly, and that's not counting the live Hardanger video that I did. Okay, so lots been up. Let's talk first life update. First of all, let's talk about my hair, the big elephant in the room. I cut, I think 12 inches. I cut 12 inches off of my hair. Yes, I did donate it. But to be honest, I don't know what they're going to be able to do with it because it was really damaged, heat damaged. I have curly hair. Imagine that. And I have spent the last probably 10 years, but especially the last 5 years, doing a lot of things to try to make it straight and smooth and flowy like a Victoria's Secret model. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I am not a Victoria's Secret model, as most of us are not Victoria's Secret models. So, end of school, major life change, cut it off, right? So it's something that I had been contemplating for quite some time and finally just decided, you know what, I really need to do this. And it's been liberating and wonderful, and I'm super, super happy going back to just being my naturally curly self. I feel, when I look in the mirror, I feel like I look like myself, if that makes any sense. Before, I didn't really recognize myself, and while I thought, oh wow, your hair looks really pretty, it really wasn't me, if I don't know if that's making any sense at all. The other thing is that between getting into, like, the stress of getting into school, then I sold my house, moved in with my mother-in-law, all within the 3 weeks before school started. Then I started school. School, as you know, was difficult and stressful. And then I also, you know, changed my diet and I lost about 90 pounds. And so all of those things caused me to lose a lot of hair. Like half of my hair. My hair is half as thick and full as it used to be. And if I can, I'll try to maybe insert a picture, show you what I'm talking about. But, and I know part of it is age and that sort of thing. I'm of a certain age, and when you get of a certain age, you start to lose more hair, your hair starts to thin, whatever. I just really never thought it was going to happen to me. I thought I was going to be young and fabulous for all of my days, and I thought I was going to do it without, you know, any effort, which is an extremely naive way to think, but that's where I was thinking. So that's what's going on with my hair. It's still me. I'm still me, but I'm more me than you have probably ever known. So there you go. Other big news, start my new job on Monday. So today is Friday, March 2nd, and I am hoping to get this up tonight or tomorrow morning, depending, because I do a little bit of editing and I don't know how long it's going to take to upload to YouTube, but the goal is to get it up by tomorrow morning so you guys can watch it over the weekend or whatever. But I start on Monday, so keep your fingers crossed for me. I'm not nervous to do anesthesia. I'm just nervous to start a new job in a new place with new people who are going to be amazing and awesome, but it's just, you know, change, even when it's good change, can be scary for us. So that's where I'm at with that. And then the other big thing that's been going on is what I like to call the potty training chronicles. So while I was in school, I started school, my son was 6 months old, and my husband became the primary caregiver. He was a stay-at-home dad, and he's amazing. He's a wonderful father, and he loves my kids. Our kids, I should say our kids, right? He loves our kids so well, and the only thing that he wasn't comfortable with was potty training alone. And when I was in school, he was basically a single parent. So with, you know, me popping in on the weekends for fun. So I decided that we needed to potty train him as soon as possible, but we had to sort of ease into it because of a number of things, which I'm not going to go into, but let's just say he's a boy. We had to potty train him. He's over 3 years old at this point. He's like 3 years and 3 months, and it has been actually quite good, but if you've ever potty trained before, you know what I'm saying, like that first day 5 through day 9 is really like the dark days of potty training, where you're just not sure. You're questioning whether or not, did I make a mistake? Am I pushing it? Is it too soon? You know, he's not going to get it. Is he not going to get it? Is he going to poop in his pants, you know, for the rest of his life? And Michelle goes, farm girl, Stitcher, she's like, you know, he's not going to be pooping in his pants when he's in college. And she's totally right, but I was like, dear God, is it going to take until he gets to college before he stops doing that, though? Because I need to be able to leave the house. We need to be able to lead normal lives. They're not going to let him into school. How are we going to do this if he's continuing? And praise God, we had a real breakthrough today. We had our first poopy in the potty. I'm just going to let you know that it was a positive experience. We all celebrated, and it's a good thing. So there you go. Okay, so next thing, show and tell. So I have been home, so I've been organizing and trying to make my space my own, and I will insert some pictures here of what my Stitchy spot looks like and how beautiful and cozy it is and how much I love it. And the only problem with it is that it's up in the tower here where I live, but this is my mother-in-law's attic, and the rest of my family doesn't hang out up here. This is basically like a little studio apartment, like a master suite for my husband and I. And so if I want to spend time with my family and Stitch, I need to be down in the common areas with them. So I haven't really used it very much. I've been using something else to help me do that, which I'll show you in my haul portion. So I found this little guy. It is a little wooden needle case, right? But it's not a needle case. And I was like, so your needles, do you see? Okay, so I took the top off here. So the needles go in this little doohickey, which is a technical term. But then you lift this up. Look how cute this is. It is literally, it's spools of thread. Is that not? And then here's the inside here. This is the little, I absolutely love little wooden treasures. And Michelle, this made me think of you because you went to Hawaii, and I feel like these look like little hibiscus Hawaiian whatever, I don't know, pretty pink flowers. I'm all about it. Let me back up here. So that's my first show and tell. I thought it was really cute. I don't actually use it. I don't know why. It would be a great little thing to take, like, it's a great little sewing kit. I don't know, I just love it. I love it. Okay, next thing. I got to save the stitches. I found a posting on my Facebook marketplace or whatever, which I scour every now and then to look for stitches to save or stitches to buy, or, I mean, you never know when somebody's going to post a out of print memorabilia or something, right? So, which I've never seen actually happen. Michelle, Bendy, Stitchy, can I just talk about how jealous I am of your thrifting haul? I have always been jealous of McKenna's ability to thrift and her, like, intuitive precision with which she finds amazing things at the thrift store that are stitching related. But Michelle, that haul was next level. Chatelaines, and I mean, I can't even stand it. And what you posted for your new start is so pretty. I want that so badly. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it, but super, super jealous of, and not even, jealous a little bit, but just more really super excited, I should say, for you, because that was amazing. So this is not as amazing as Michelle's haul, but it's pretty great. So this is a needlepoint pillow that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I bought it for $8, which I know is a travesty. And I can't tell if I think it's handmade, but I don't know if it's handmade. It looks handmade to me. Look at the little radish. So cute. And the bunny. And there's even like a little, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a little floof right here. Boop. A little piece of, and I don't really know how to fix that, or if I should try to even fix it. But I really thought, I can't find a tag on it anywhere, even on the inside, that would indicate that it was a purchased pillow that was already stitched like this. So I think, but it's great. It's got a little zipper here. So I'm planning to give it a good wash, or I should say a good soak, and clean it up a little bit, and then put a new pillow insert, because the one that's in here is starting to disintegrate a little bit. And I asked the person that I saved it from whether or not, here's my funny story. So my husband stayed home with my son, and my daughter and I went, and I kept my daughter in the car, and we're going to somebody's house, and I'm like, you know, they could be a serial killer or something trying to lure needlepoint lovers in for the kill, right? So I'm like, okay, so Victor, I'm gonna call you, and so you'll be on the phone, but you're gonna be in my pocket, so that if something goes down, you'll hear it and you can call 911. Brilliant plan, right? Except I forgot to give him the address of where I was going, because always thinking here, I'm a genius. So, and he said he couldn't hear anything. When I got back, I was like, pulled him out of my pocket. I'm like, did you hear us talking or anything? He said, no, but I mean, if you had been in a scuffle or something, I'm sure I would have heard that. Wouldn't have helped because he didn't have the address, but okay. So then I asked her, I said, you know, do you know anything about it? And she said she got it from the elderly neighbor lady down the street, and she doesn't know if the person made it or what. So, but I don't, can you see right here? There's like all kinds of different, I'm not going to call them mistakes, I'm going to call them character. There's all kinds of, you know, interesting character to this stitching, that imperfections, you know, it's not perfect like a machine would make it, which makes me think that it was hand stitched. But I thought it was perfect for the season of spring, and without being overly cutesy. I don't do cutesy. Some things I like cutesy, but not all things cutesy. I don't know if that made any sense at all. Cutesy. Is that a thing? Hashtag cutesy. Okay. So that's my show and tell. Oh, this is my mug from my Stitch Loves. I keep meaning to show this. This was a Christmas gift from my dear friend. I don't know if I can say her name. I didn't ask her. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't ask her. But she's a really close friend of mine, and she lives in the state that's shaped like this. I live in this state. And then we have another dear friend who is also a floss tuber, and her name is Deborah, and I'm pretty sure I can say her name because she's a floss tuber and she's public anyway. This person, her name starts with a P, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But she designed this mug for us. We affectionately call each other Stitch Loves, and we basically love on each other all day long, sending messages back and forth and progress pictures, and I love these two women like they are my heart and soul, and so I get to drink coffee out of a mug that was made special for me. And the other really great thing about this is same on both sides, because I can see it and everybody else can see it, and I love that. So thank you for that mug, because I love it, love it, love it. And you know who you are. Next up is finishes. Let's talk finishes. So first finish is Summer Schoolhouse. Yay! I did it. I finished it. Amazing. I am going to not sign my work. Well, I'm going to sign my work in the back, but I don't think I'm going to put my initials on things unless it calls for it. Simply because a lot of times I love the piece so much and I don't want to, I worry that my initials are going to distract from the piece. So let's get in nice and close, people, and check it out. This is lesson 1 of Brenda Gervais' Summer Schoolhouse series, Lessons in ABCdarian. That's my wonky house. That's a mistake. That's a huge mistake. And I don't care. Left it in. Life's too short, people. Here is my favorite part about this big ass strawberry. Oh my God, I love it so much. Look at that little tiny emery strawberry. Oh. And then the bird. So this is 1/1, people. And it is stitched on mushroom Lugana with all of the called for threads. I originally started it on, I love that little motif. I originally started it on a 30 count oatmeal linen, non-even weave, because I think I'm fancy like that and I wanted to be hardcore, and I gotta tell you, it was a miserable experience. So I don't even know how far I got. Not very far at all. Maybe 30 stitches. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to continue to do this. So I went back to my LNS, the Crafty U, and I talked to my owner, Janine, and we set me up with some of this mushroom Lugana, and I love it. Love it, love it. Now since then, I have started another over 1 project, which I will show you, on 32 count, and it's fine, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, next big finish is my heart hanger along. Let me make sure that I'm That's it, people. This was a heart hanger along with Stitching with a Smile. Nina from Stitching with a Smile. She did it ended up being like a 15-part series, and I don't really have anything to hold up here behind it. Oh my God, I'm totally struggling here. I wanted you to be able to see, maybe if I do it this way, see the detail I posted lots of pictures on my Instagram at Felicity Stitches, and I'll show you. Oh, I just showed you the back. I'm not afraid to bare my backside. Okay, here we go. There's the front. So the little diamond shapes inside the needle woven blocks here those are called Dove's Eyes. And the needle weaving was so much fun, and it went so fast. Honestly, I love this piece, and I gave it to my mother-in-law. She loves it. She doesn't want to set anything on it, thank God. And so what we're going to do is frame it. I think what I'm going to do is frame it on like a dark background. I took pictures for my Instagram on a really like a dark royal blue bedspread, and that I feel like it made all the colors pop very nicely. So I might mount it onto a royal blue velvet, something like that, or a black velvet, and then frame it that way, because the richness of the velvet shows off all the cut work and the dove's eyes quite well, I think. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see a little bit better, because we love our zoom feature, right? Pretty cool. That is not true color. That looks like lime green, and it's not really, it's much more muted and grayed down than that. I'm not sure why it looks so bright, although I don't mind how pretty those colors are, but in real life it's much more muted. Now there's, you can see here, you see how it's bowing up and in there and right in here. That's because too much tension, too much pulling. Like this one here and this one here, those are pretty good. It's not really pulling at all, but this one, boop boop, pulled a little too hard there. This one, look at that, that's a nightmare. Oh well, not bad for my first piece, I don't think. Good enough for me. Look at that little sad guy. Aw. And this one's big, but the tension's good, so maybe they're supposed to look more like that. I don't know. I do not know. But I like it. And there's more, you know, there's more to learn. This is just the beginning. Somebody asked me if I was going to do another hardanger piece. I might do, there's another stitch along going right now. Somebody's teaching hardanger a small piece. One of my Instagram friends finished it, and it's really beautiful. And it's tiny. And I think I might do that just because it'd make a fun ornament. A cute little ornament, so I might do that just to get a hardanger fix maybe later in the year. But that's, my thought is there's so many things I want to learn, which we'll talk about more later, and try, that I just don't, it was enough for me to try it, conquer my fear of it, finish a piece, which is amazing, right? To finish anything, it seems like, and then now I can move on and learn other things. So many things. So that was that finish. Hardanger Long, Stitching with a Smile. I started that on April 28th, finished it February 15th. April 28th of 2017, finished it February 15th of 2018. And it's a freebie called Ivory Octagonal Doily, and you can find that on the Nordic Needle website. Or you can follow the link below to Nina's, the channel is called Stitching with a Smile, and I'll link to the very first part in her 15-part series. And she's just a treat. She's a lovely lady. Very good instructor. And I did it on 22 count white hardanger using DMC number 5 pearl cotton, which is the colored stuff. That is 4605, and then number 8 pearl cotton, which is just the plain gray. That's the one that comes in the little balls at Joann's, and that is number 415. Okay, another finish, because this is what we're all showing. It is the Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas series. This is called Little Red Barn. It's so cute. I've changed a bunch of stuff because I don't like to do, I mean, I want to do what everybody's doing, but I also want it to be my own, right? I think we all are like that. We want to be unique and special. So, here is my finish. My Little Red Barn. I did this on 40 count flagstone, which is like my new, as Elena would say, this is my new jam. 40 count flagstone is my new jam. Love it. Love the color. I just like Flagstone by Legacy Linens. It's like a very soft gray. It's like a cement gray. And I don't know why, but I really like it. I think it's a perfect neutral for things. So I'm going to do a nice close-up of this so that you can see it, and then I'm going to tell you why I totally hate it. First of all, this was a nightmare for me to stitch. I struggle to count sometimes, which can be a problem when you're doing counted cross stitch. So I changed, these are silks. This is Belle Soie silk. I messed up the barn a couple of times really good and had to tear it out. Red silks are a nightmare because they can run. I did this in hand, which is also a nightmare because my hands sweat. So I had a lot of factors working against me, as you can tell, and when I get up really close on it, what you'll be able to see is that when I when I pulled out stitches, there's a lot of, I don't know if you can see, there's like a pink halo. The other thing that I really struggle with is the fact that I feel like my white stitches look terrible. And this is 1 strand over 2. I'm trying to hold it still. And I finished mine a couple hours after Nicole from Nicole's Needlework finished hers, and we all know that her stitching is next level, right? First of all, she has amazing taste in the patterns that she chooses, I think. And then her stitches look perfect. And my stitches don't look anything like her stitches. Granted, I have not been stitching nearly as long as she has been stitching, so she's had so much more practice than me. Also, her stitches were done, I believe, Nicole, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe her stitches were done 2 over 2, and mine was done 1 over 2. But I changed these are Belle Soie, so I tried to get as close to what the pattern calls for without, the only thing that's the called for thread is that neutral that is the snowflakes and the trim around the barn. The green is different. I went with a darker green, like a more evergreen green, and the barn I stitched in a more rustic barn red instead of a bright Christmas red. And I just liked the gray a little bit better. I thought it would look cute. My plan is to do these up as ornaments. And, oh, I stitched the barn. I did it up and down. I did my stitches up and down because I felt like with the variegation it would look more like wooden planks of wood, as opposed to, like, if you were to look at a barn with planks of wood, it's, woo, hi. If you were to look at a barn with planks of wood, the wood goes up and down. So I felt like that was next level thinking on my part because I've never had I've never thought about it in that kind of detail before. But her white stitches just look like little floofy puffs of perfection that like floated down from the sky and just landed on her stitching perfectly. And my tension's all over the place and my thread rolls all over the place, and this drives me crazy. You know this, you guys, it drives me crazy. I was trying a new technique. I was stitching in hand, and I was trying, half of it is done trying like the sewing method. And I took it to my Sunday Stitch-In and talked to my ladies there. And they're all seasoned stitchers. And they sort of thought that perhaps 40 count was a little too small to be doing the sewing method. So that set me up for problems. And then, you know, so I may actually, if I have enough fabric left over, I might restitch it because I changed the white that I'm using and I'm much happier with it, and I don't know why, but I'll talk about that in my Whips and New Starts, which is coming up right now. So those were my finishes, not fully finished. The only thing that's fully finished is the doily, and really it's not even fully finished because I have plans to frame it, right? So what are you going to do? And we're going to talk about whips and new starts. So Little House Needleworks. The second installment of Farmhouse Christmas came out. This is Horsing Around. So cute. So if you'll remember, the last one I did, I had quite a bit of struggles because I wasn't happy. I stitched it in hand. I tried the sewing method. I didn't like the way my white looked, and I was just unhappy. Overall unhappy. Since then, I have taken my piece and put it in a little frame. This is, I believe it's a Kay's Creations frame, but I'm not sure. I got it at an estate sale. And what I did was I cut along, because I'm doing them as ornaments, I cut it about 5 inches wide, and it's just a really long piece. I think it's maybe 25 inches long. It's enough to get, I think, four motifs out of here, because these are only like 3 inches. Yeah, it's about 3 inches long, square. So I had seen somebody had posted that they did their border. Some did red and white, some did all red, and I thought, well, that's one way to fix my white problem, is that I'll take as much white. For somebody who hates to stitch white, I picked the wrong series to do, because it's Farmhouse Christmas, hence snow, hence a lot of stitching with white. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess this is an exercise in patience for me, and I will just practice. So what I did with this one is put it on the scroll frame. I'm using a two-handed technique, and I'm doing it when I'm awake. So I'm being very, very careful not to make mistakes, especially with my red. I'm counting like 4 times and then stitching. So this is a new white. It is a silk, but it's a new white. I am using Overa Soie silks, and I don't know why, but I love it so much better. Maybe I'll try to put both of these next to each other so that you can see. Maybe I'm being a weirdo, which is entirely possible. But I feel like they are very different, even though they are both silks. The coverage with the Auvera Soie I like much better. And you're probably going to say, Jen, I don't see any difference in the coverage. The color is brighter. There is... The Auvera Soie is whiter and it's shinier. And I just think it fills up the little squares better. I don't know. So I'm happier with that. I'm happier with the red. I'm happier stitching it in the frame, two-handed. You know, maybe if I do something on a large count, I'll just need to find a new project to practice the sewing method, I guess. But that's it. That's my new start. No need to talk about it any more than that. I made some adjustments. We're moving on. I might stitch the first one over again. I might give that one to somebody else or something. Who knows? Okay. So again, stitched 1/2 on 40 count Flagstone linen by Lakeside Linens. And that's it. Okay. Next start is my parchment tapestry. I will show you a picture here. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It's not a new start, okay? I started this I don't even know when I started it. Last year in the fall maybe, when I was aching for a new start. But I started it on a Q-snap and I wasn't enjoying it. And it's 1 strand over 2 threads on 46 count. I started it September 14th. Sorry. 1/2 on 46 count light exemplar by Legacy Linens. So I will insert a picture here. And you can see where I'm at now. Basically what I've done is I've completed this little piece here, so now I can put this pretty in here. But you have to stitch all the framework, and I'm deciding, like, do I do like a delayed gratification thing and I stitch the whole grid and then fill it in? Or do I stitch mini grids as I go and fill in as I go? And I sort of feel like I'm going to fill in as I go because I don't think I can delay gratification that long. I mean, these are too pretty to just stitch green hexagons for 7 days, 7 nights, 7 months, 7 years, however long it's going to take me. And again, here's the threads for those. I'm going to do a Nicole's Needlework thread comb. I love these colors. I think they're gorgeous. They're all Weeks Dye Works. And I think Weeks Dye Works has really beautiful colors. So let's hope that they have nice full skeins here. Next, my chatelaine. So I told you guys I use these bags. They are from the Container Store, and they're the same bags Nicole's Needlework uses because I want to be Nicole. But I added this little tag, which the idea for that I got from Emily C., who is brilliant. She puts these little guys on her project bags, and so I've got my little tag here, so if it's all in a pile, I know which one to go for because of the little tabby that sticks out. So here is my chatelaine. I've done just a little bit more on this, working on getting the corners done here. And still, do you guys, I mean, some people are like, oh, I never have to frog. I don't know who those people, I don't know who you are that you don't have to frog, because Maybe it's because of where I am in life with children and distractions and that sort of thing. I have to frog all the time. I'm always miscounting by one or whatever. That's my chatelaine. Hold up my little ruler here so that you can see again how tall. We're like, right now we're about 3.5 inches, and I think it'll be around 4 inches square when it's all done. It's turning out super pretty and I'm really liking it. But, so I don't follow, sorry for people who don't like big sounds. I don't follow what is that called? A formal schedule, a rotation. I don't follow a rotation because I just stitch what calls to me when I'm moved to stitch it. And that seems to work for me, except for the fact that I have a little bit of ADD, so when I am presented with a lot of choices, I have a hard time making decisions. So you guys know I want to stitch all the things, and so I'm literally, some days I'll stitch on 2 things because I want to stitch them all, and well, I probably ought to pick this one up and stitch this one for a little while, and sometimes I worry that that's messing with my progress. I'm hoping that because I start work on Monday and we'll have to get used to life with a new schedule again, that we'll come up with another new normal that will be more normal, and I can figure out how I'm going to stitch, because I don't even know if I'll be able to stitch at night, or if I'll want to stitch at night, or if I'll be too tired between working all day and then, you know, coming home and dinner and kids' bedtime routines and reading books and getting them tucked in and packing lunches for tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. Who has time? I don't know that I'm going to have time, so it might just be Friday night, Saturday, Sunday sort of stitching for me. I don't know. Next whip. This is a new start and a whip, and I tried to get, I got a little cocky and I wrote in because I have like show notes that I write down, and I originally put it in as a finish because I only have a little bit of beading to do and it'll be a finish, but I didn't get done. So it's still a whip. It's not a finish, which makes me sad. I even wrote, see, look, I even wrote it down, finished March 1st, and it's possible I could finish it today, but today is not the 1st, today's the 2nd, so it gets done when it gets done. What I did was, this has no ending or beginning, no top or bottom. This is, and you all have seen this is a little heart swirl. It's a freebie. Nicole Dostal, she is the designer behind Northern Expressions Needlework. So she is the person who designs the Twisted Band sampler that Letitia is stitching, and Esther's Waves that you see behind Deborah, AZ Needleworker, on her wall when she's doing her Flosstube videos. She is a brilliant designer. She makes the most beautiful designs, and I want to stitch them all, but you really, really, really have to be alert when you stitch her things, because there are specialty stitches involved. She'll do all cross-stitch versions of almost everything that she designs, but I like the specialty stitches. I love the look of them. So, you know, I want to stitch the specialty stitches. This is mostly just cross-stitch. This is stitched with Dinky Dyes silk in Shiraz and various Delica beads that were sent to me by a dear friend, one of my stitch loves, and it's stitched 2/2 on 30 count sunflower, which is the fabric that I had originally purchased for my, let me get in there real nice and close. I have taken some liberties with bead placement. I'm sort of making it extra blingy. And I thought these made beautiful centers for flowers, so I'm trying to stitch those up, bead them up like they were little flowers. But I'm also a little worried that they're hiding that specialty stitch, so I don't know. But isn't that pretty? I've seen it so many times. I've had it for so long and have wanted to stitch it up because it's a beautiful design. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. I started it on February 9th, and the goal was to finish it yesterday, but I haven't gotten that far yet because I take a long time beading, because I've only ever done it a couple times. And I will show you, I'm using one of those, I don't remember what it's called, bead thingies, the little bead case. It's basically like a CD jewel case with sticky stuff inside. And both, this side is sticky and this side is sticky, so you really can get a lot of use out of it. And here's my beads. And that's where we're at with that. So there you go. So I showed you the Farmhouse Christmas series, and I'm now going to show you my Oh Christmas Tree. This is being kept in my brand new bag that I got from Michelle, Farm Girl Stitcher. Never had a project bag before. These are really nice. I totally see why you guys love these. And I have 2 tags on here because I'm keeping my Farmhouse Christmas in there, and then I'm also keeping Oh Christmas Tree, which is right here. I changed the thread because the thread I had was too blue. So what I did was I bought new thread. It's a little more evergreen. Again, this is my own bacon and basted fabric from Vonna Pfeifer's tutorial. Did you hear that, Vonna? I said bacon and basted, just like your mug. Yeah, so that's it. Not a lot of progress. I only stitched this on Santa Sundays, and only for like an hour because I do sampler Sundays and sampler Saturdays and sampler weekdays, so I don't have time to do Santa Sundays all the time. But I do like it. I'm stitching it 2 over 2, and you know, I'm not thinking really hard about it. I just stitch it and I enjoy it, and I don't worry about if it's perfect or anything else like that. I just wanted to make sure that the green was the right green for me. So there you go. That's that. And it's just a 20, it's bacon basted, coffee tea dyed bacon basted on a 28 count mushroom Lugana. And my next, this is a new start, also being kept in one of my fabulous project bags from Farm Girl Stitcher. These are beautifully made, and the fabric is super soft, and they're just pretty. It's just, I love pretty stuff. It's so nice to have pretty stuff. So this is my Spring Small secret stitch for the New Jersey retreat in May that I'm going to. So excited, can't wait. We're getting close, and I believe it's going to be sort of a white elephant kind of wrap it up and steal it kind of thing. So I'm not, maybe I'm not supposed to show it to you. I don't think I'm supposed to show it to you. Okay, I'll do what Ginger Gerald did. Here it is. I promise there's stitches on it. Whoop. See it? Stitches. Whoop. Really close. You have no idea what that was, do you? It is a freebie pattern from the work basket, and I will show you the colors that I'm using. I don't have that one on a bobbin. I got lazy. I don't bobbinate anymore. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I have too many things to do. So that's that. I probably won't show that anymore because it doesn't seem like it's much fun if you can't see the progress, right? Okay. Final new start and obsession. I'm obsessed. This is a sampler put out by Dutch Treat Designs. It's called Needle Small with Magic Power. And it's from, it was stitched by B. Farnsworth in 1880. And the original design was stitched over one thread on 17 count fabric. The original design is 9 1/4 by 10 1/4 inches stitched. The stitch count for this is like 169 wide by 193 high. And I love it. My LNS has 2 versions of this hanging up right behind the counter. There's the owner, Janine, did a really big version of it, and it is gorgeous. And it's framed beautifully. They do framing at the Crafty U as well, and it's just a real statement piece. It's very, very beautiful. And she did it in sort of a light turquoisey thread. I may have posted a picture of that on my Instagram. I think I did. And then there's another stitcher from my LNS, Julie, who stitches almost exclusively over one, and her stitching is impeccable. And she stitched this over one, and it's like this itty-bitty little teeny tiny sampler, and it is just the cutest thing you've ever seen. Like, it's so cute. So I had to do it over one. Julie actually helped me pick out the fabric and the threads because I wanted it to be super teeny tiny, but I also didn't want to do 28 count because I still felt like that would be too big. I wanted to do it on linen, not even weave. So here's what we came up with. This is, it's 1/1 on 32 count Peeps Lost Sheep by Dames of the Needle. And I'm stitching it using DMC 3808. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I went in, I found an AVS silk, AVAS, Auvera Soie, silk that I loved, but there was only one. Who does that to a stitcher? Only one? And I couldn't take, their dye lots vary quite a bit, so I didn't want to take the chance of ordering, you know, a ton of skeins and then not running out, not having the right dye lot. So honestly, this DMC is a dead-on match. Look at how cute that is. That is how wide this thing is going to be. It's like, so 5 inches. So it's like 6 inches. I have to pause for a moment. Okay, I'm back. My camera was unplugged and the thing was about to cancel out on me. I can't have that. Spent all day recording. Okay. Back to Dutch Treat. So here it is. I'm going to zoom in. I'm stitching this two-handed method. This green that you see is my way of, it's a poor man's gridding technique, just so that I could keep track, because I was really struggling to count. Every time I counted, I got a different number. Does that ever happen to you? I mean, come on, people. So the reason, and I'm loving this, this is 32 count, and I struggled on 30 count. The difference is the weave. Do you see how open the weave of this linen is? I can see all of the little holes. I use magnification when I stitch, but honestly, I wouldn't have to. I would not have to at all. So that's it. It's going to be gorgeous. So this is my over one project since finishing Summer Schoolhouse Lesson 1. And it's going to, I think it'll go down to here. That's it. That's how big it's going to be. I'll give you my phone in comparison. Like it's basically not as tall as an iPhone 6s Plus, a little bit wider. Can you believe that? Do you love it as much as I love it? That was a Nashville Market release from 2017 by Dutch Treat Designs. And are you guys insane about Market this year? I'm so excited. I keep sending my LNS owner, Janine, she's probably sick of me, but I love her. Love you, Janine. I keep sending her messages like, oh, and I'm going to need this. Oh, and then she posted something on our Facebook page about some new threads coming out, and I had she posted, Gentle Arts had posted something about their threads, and they did it in a black and white photo, and they were like, we just want you to be surprised. And my response was, oh my god, I forgot about threads. I forgot new threads were going to be released. So exciting. I have a list a mile wide of all the things that I want from Market. So I'll probably do a whole separate video on like Market haul. And that's the smartest thing you can do is talk to your LNS owner and let them know what you want from Market. That's why the designers release sneak peeks, so that they can build up excitement, and a way to guarantee that you're going to get the piece that you want, hopefully, is to place that pre-order with your LNS. So that's it. That's all my whips. That's it. All my whips. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Let's see. Plans. I'm going to start with plans. I'm going to do haul at the end because some people don't like haul. And whatever. So I'll do haul at the end. So plans. I was going to do like a whole big video about all my plans for the whole year. Everybody's doing these plans for the year videos. And you know what? I kind of like being a woman of mystery. I don't think I'm going to reveal my hand all at once, right? So I'm going to show you hard starts only. So these are things I definitely know without a doubt I am starting come hell or high water. They will be started, and probably very shortly. So the first one is one of those where I'm only going to give you a little peek at what I'm going to do. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm not going to even tell you what it is I'm going to stitch. I'm just going to show you the fabric and the threads. So the fabric is Flagstone, 40 count Flagstone by Lakeside Linens. It's gorgeous. It's this rich concrete gray color that I'm obsessed with. I've got a weird shadow. That's so strange. And then the threads. Are you ready for this? Here's my threads. Boop. This is a limited edition thread by, yeah, I need that many because I'm terrified. It's big. It's a really big piece. And I'm terrified I'm going to run out of thread. It's a limited edition from Gast. These are their sampler threads, and the color is called Witch's Brew, And I love it on this gray because it's like it brings out like, there's like purple tones. Sometimes it looks a little taupey or brown. There's a dark charcoaly. I just love it. It looks like, I don't even know. I just love it. So stay tuned to hear more about this. You guys know this is inevitable, right? This is Smith Sampler. You recognize it because you all fell in love with it when Nicole from Nicole's Needlework stitched it over the course of last year. And it is stunning. So I have all of the called for threads. I haven't kitted them up or like put them on a thing. I'm not going to do a comb through or whatever. And I'm going to do it on, I don't know if you can see this here, 46 count vintage butter pecan. So you can see that. I'll give you more in depth later, but this is probably going to be started, honestly, guys, tomorrow. I think I'm going to spring out of bed while the bluebirds whistle and help me get dressed, and then I'm starting the Smith Sampler because it's going to be amazing on 46 count. Woo. Amazing. I cannot wait. So that's that. And then I showed you that one. The next hard planned start is a Russian needlepoint sal that I found literally by freak accident on a fluke. There's a woman named Marina Morgenstein. I don't know what her last name is. She posted on Stitch Mania. She posted on Stitch Mania her progress and then her finish of the most amazing needlepoint you have ever seen. So here's a picture of her work. Do you see that? I mean, it is the richest, most gorgeous thing I have ever seen. Right? She hand-dyed her threads. She hand-dyed her fabric. And I was crazy for it. And she was even kind enough to send me a picture of her fabric and her threads, like, up close. And they're beautiful, but the picture that she sent me looks a little bit different than the picture of, you know how that goes, right? It's easier than trying to hold it all up. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm using Splendor Silks. They're a 12 ply, and then that dinky dye is down there at the bottom. Maybe if I hold it up. And then a 28 count navy Lugana. Well, yeah, you just can't beat that richness of color that you don't see in the picture. Here's all of the It's really, really hard to hold all this stuff up, you guys. I don't know how you do it. The dinky dyes is Bush Christmas. And that's my metallic. And it's all going on this. No idea if I'm even in the frame. Can you see it? I don't know. I think it's beautiful. I have no idea. No idea what I'm doing. Anyways, that pattern was free for joining into the SAL. All you had to do, and the time to join the SAL has passed, but you can still join the Facebook group, and you can purchase other patterns from this Russian designer whose name I cannot pronounce. But she designs some really, really prolifically beautiful stuff. And then that Marina that I was telling you about, who does not have an Instagram, but does post a lot on that Sal page, is so talented. She's a beautiful stitcher. She's a beautiful finisher. She has shown me some of her finishes, and they are next level. They are really, really beautiful. Oh, my other hard start is not cross stitch related or needlepoint related. It is, I'm learning to knit with Ginger Gerald. And I'm only able to do that because Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts and Fiber Friends is teaching us. I don't know, I mean, if you haven't heard about this, then I'm starting to question whether or not you live under a rock. But we're learning to knit, and I'm trying to learn to knit, and I'm using circular needles, which I've never used before, and they're so much fun. And I've only tried, I bought these little bamboo ones from Michael's. Very inexpensive. I love them. I bought metal ones, haven't tried them. And then here's my cotton that I got for my dishcloth that I haven't started because I'm afraid. I don't know why. If you watch, Gerald posted his update for the 28th. It's dated the 28th, and he shows you his first washcloth and his second washcloth, and it's like night and day. I mean, night and day. You would think that he practiced knitting for like 6 months and then decided to stitch another dishcloth. It's that good. So I think what I need to do is just let it go. But again, maybe what I'll do is do my knitting at night after work and then my cross stitching on the weekends, because the knitting is more mobile and easier to do while hanging out on the couch with the kids, and I don't need a magnifier and, you know, all of these special tools, special frames, this, that, and the other. That could be a good idea. Oh, the other thing, so I will link, I'll put a link for Ginger Gerald downstairs, and I'll put a link for both Off the Grid Needle Arts and Fiber Friends. So it's a little bit, I was a little bit confused at the start of this, because Ginger Gerald is posting videos about learning to knit, and then Caroline is also posting videos about learning to knit. And Ginger Gerald's is more of like a chronicle, like a diary of how he's doing, what he's doing, and then he features like classes about little things to learn, techniques or things about fibers, and I think he posted one about yarn weight that was super interesting with somebody who is a pretty talented dyer of fibers, yarn fibers. So I'm sorry I'm looking out into space. I'm trying to think about how I want to describe this. And then Caroline's are more technical, and a lot of them are just her hands. And she knits, so I knit holding my needles like this, right? Doop, doop, doop. Knit, 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 boop, 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 right? She knits holding the working needle, which is in the right hand, like a pencil. She holds it like this, and I hold it like this. I tried doing it like this. I can't even get, honestly, I can't figure out how to get my fingers to work to do this. I will have days where I sit down and I'm like, boop, 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 and I knit and I purl and the tension's beautiful and everything's great. And I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'm ready for the dishcloth. And then I sit down again at another point and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just try a couple more rows before I use the cotton thread. And I'm like, this is me trying to knit. It literally comes out like that. And it looks like that too. So it's process, people. What can I say? I've not picked it up as quickly as I thought I would. And I am somebody who has tried to learn to knit 3 or 4 times. 5th time is a charm, right? So I think that's it for plans. That's it for plans. Okay. I think what I'll probably do is make that one whole video and then we'll do another video about haul. Do you want to do that? That's probably the best idea, right? So that people who aren't into haul don't have to watch haul. Until next time, may all the things made with your hands show your heart. See you later. Bye. No, really, get out of here. Go.